nail polish dots in your cords and your ports, so you know which one goes into which.
No, it wasn't that. I replaced the whole motherboard, so it's a
Oh, I'm sorry.
different mother. It's a
Oh, sorry.
different motherboard. That's why.
Sorry.
So just relax there.
Okay.
The pothead talking about nail polish. Go
I
figure.
don't know, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Anytime I listen to you and take your word for it. Okay. So Danny, do you have to go at 10 o'clock?
No.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and okay.
You're
So
not
we're gonna
doing it.
go around and have you guys talk about your channels and everything. I gotta go back here for a second.
He's not
So
doing it.
Danny, start with you, and everybody go around and introduce yourself and talk about your channels, okay? And then I will be back as quick as possible. So if I'm not back, talk about your. Yeah, you know how you're doing it.
We
Okay.
got you.
All
We
right.
got this.
We know what to do.
I'm Danny, and you can find me on my channel Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's called The Road to Wisdom. I've already uploaded 2, so I'm good for this week. And Tuesdays and Thursdays, I usually do shorts, so definitely check me out. Mondays, we do shows between me, Chris, and Anzo on the Chaos Central. And tomorrow night should be Chris's show. I think it's called The Rule of Three, and definitely check that out. Thank God this is the last roundtable for this show. And there is no stone lines tonight. Our fearless leader said he is taking a night off. He just got back from his trip, and we'll be back full strength on that tomorrow next Sunday. But yeah, I'll be on Anzo's show sometime. The Road to the OC, and since I'm on Gaskar's show on Wednesdays at 8 called The Hangout. So I'm all over. But definitely come check us out. It should be an interesting show. I'm not going to say good, but interesting.
Well, we already know that there's going to be a lot of capping for this show going on tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So we're probably going to have to mute some people.
I can honestly say, Anzo, there's not going to be any capital on me. And this is the truth. I'm here for 2 reasons. Obligation and friendship. Because this has been so long in coming. I done forgot basically what happened. So I'm not going to say much of nothing tonight.
The last episode recapped the whole entire show.
But it was like almost 2 weeks ago.
I can't remember it, bro. I don't remember. But,
I've watched Invincibles. I watched Walking Dead. I watched so much other things after this. It's like, okay, I'm probably gonna have to put it on to kind of refresh my memory for some things. But I already know that episode 5 is like whatever. Anyways, Big Ford Entertainment, guys. Thank you guys for popping in. You know where to find me, like Danny said. On Mondays, we do the chaos stuff. On Wednesdays is the OOC. This week we will be doing best top 10 hip hop groups, male and duos. I was gonna do the female duos, but when I looked it up,
duos.
No, female groups. Yeah, female groups. There was like 5 maybe.
SWV.
But SWV's R&B.
Yeah, that's really if you talk about
yeah, hip hop, Salt and Pepper.
Salt and Pepper, yeah.
JJ Fad was what I seen, and then the rest of them like I don't
know. What about Latrim?
Who?
Latrim.
From Supersonic. Oh, that was JJ Fad.
I'm talking about
JJ Fad was Supersonic.
Sonic. I can't remember no more duos.
Female. I can't think of female duos. Like really? It's all Salt and Pepper. That's it.
Exactly. So we'll be doing that on Wednesday. It'll also be shit. Hold on.
Good Lord.
I know Loki's that good. That's why he's coughing.
That's some strong stuff, boy. Whatever it is.
Never take a puff while you're trying to get into your topic over here. Guys, note to self, after you talk, then you take a toke. But yeah. And it'll be our Thanksgiving specials for the Americans. So $10 shot night for that. And then we are back again at it the next week. So yeah, Warren, you're up.
Anzo, these people in the chat.
Do what?
Latrim.
I don't know.
They
saying that we like the cars to go boom. We like the cars.
What was I gonna say? Yes. I'm on Twitter. You'll find me there. I'm in discussions with someone to do something for next year. So
What is it happening?
Do what?
Is it happening? Is it really happening this time?
it's we someone I know, but it's League of Legends related, so nothing show related. So I can
So
I can still
so boring.
scapegoat my weight. So
So boring channel. That's what you're planning to do.
sure, that's what we call it. We can call it that. So you can find me there. I preach the wonderful word of the MCU and our Lord and Savior Loki. So
Oh, my Lord.
Oh my God!
That's
Really?
That's too much.
Yeah.
Fans on his
Wow!
ass.
Your
Fans on his
Lord
ass.
and Savior.
Like right now, you're gonna hear this, and Warren's gonna be gone.
Chris, just please have your Phantom Zones ready for tonight. That's all I'm asking.
I will definitely do my best.
Cool.
Okay. So who's up next?
Eli.
Okay.
Howdy, folks. Unofficial spokesperson for Mrs. Minutes here. I realize who. I have YouTube, X, Instagram, Threads. I post some science stuff, funny stuff, videos, updates, whatever. And I'm so glad the APEC is over because tomorrow night, since the moon is at 48% luminosity and no clouds predicted, you should get some good astronomy photos tomorrow. And hopefully I won't get stopped by Secret Service and National Guard again, the cops.
What did you do?
During
What
APEC, they had the huge security. I tried to go to the pier to get some shots of the moon. I couldn't because my telescope bag looked like a rifle bag, and I got stopped twice. And I'm like, fuck this, I'm going home.
Elihu, I just have a feeling that he's gonna be on the front page sometime about stoner attempts something. And it's gonna be like Florida Man epic level.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I gotta defend Eli here for a bit. You guys making stoners look bad. You know what I mean?
No. Hey, wait. Anzo, I'm gonna come to your defense right now. You don't say some of the crazy shit Elihu, and I don't know if Warren's on anything, but Warren says. I mean,
War's on shrooms.
I'm on the green magic of Loki. That's what I'm on.
there you go. I knew that. Oh my God. Okay, all right. Hold on. Really? Is that really where you're going with that? Oh my
Green. It's
God.
green.
Is this not the Loki roundtable? I'm
Ego check.
Let's start over, shall we?
Okay, I brought him back in, but here we're gonna put him out here for just a second. Just there we go. Okay, we're gonna talk about this really quick. The ego loving, the Loki loving stuff. Let's just back off on that a little bit. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Hold on. We still got Brian. I've heard his Loki stuff. We still got him, so you might need that ego check in a second.
We'll see.
Just
All
wait till
right.
I start. Just wait.
Okay. So since Brian's up there, Brian, go ahead. You go next, and then Austin here will get you.
All right. I'm Brian the Grizzly, 1/3 Spoiler Kings. We go live on Mondays and Thursdays, and then as many times I can during the week. I finally opened the store, so guess what? I'm gonna be on even more, so you can't stop me now. So it's gonna be crazy. I was just was doing that thing with Chill this morning with Anzo. So I like to jump on anything, and I will be the voice of reason tonight because obviously these other people are crazy. So that's just what
disciple.
it is.
So,
Hold on.
just so that we can stop with your voice of reason. How'd you like that Bears game today?
It hurt. It cut me real deep.
Yeah, I thought so.
Cut me real deep. I was like, yeah. And I looked 3 minutes later. I was like, oh no. And I felt like it was the water boy with the girl on the sideline saying, look at me like this. I was like, shit, about to happen again.
Hey, how did you like the Buccaneers? Nice game today.
Oh, this guy just gotta come in here and cap for fucking San Francisco. So goddamn annoying. And I already had a bad loss today too as well. So I don't want to hear you, Eli.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Austinator, tell everybody about yourself, please.
Hello, everybody. I'm the Austinator. You can find me on my channel. I do a bunch of stuff over there. I do WCW reviews with Shifty typically on Thursdays, but these last couple of weeks have just been a pain in the ass because it's towards the end of the college semester. So, of course, work piles up and that screws up everything. So, hopefully, at some point, we'll get it done, but not this week because it is Thanksgiving. Have fun, eat turkey, do whatever you do on Thanksgiving.
Gobble, gobble.
Yes, gobble, gobble. You can find me typically here on Chaos Central for the roundtables, and you can just find me everywhere. So, Chris, thanks for having me on. This is going to be a very interesting episode, I feel.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
there's going to be people on both sides, on the far ends of both sides.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, do what?
I said I know which side I'm on.
Of course. Okay, and I'm Chris Knight, Real Review 3000. You can find me at Chris Knight 5150 on Twitter or whatever the hell they call it now. Chaos Central, Hanstar YT, lots of other places. I like to say I am the original stream whore. If there's a stream that somebody's willing to listen to my craziness on, and they'll let me on, I will be there. So that's the loveliness of me. Anyways, let's talk about Loki, season 2, episode 5 and 6, and then we can also kind of mix in as we go along the season 2. I mean, we can do all of that, but we'll kind of try to get 5 and 6 all encompassed into our overall thoughts, likes, dislikes, all that stuff, and then when we get to the end, we'll talk about the whole season in general. Then we'll give our grades on the 2 episodes and the season in general. So let's start with our overall thoughts. I'll start with you, Danny. Go ahead and tell everybody what your overall thoughts were on these last 2 episodes.
5 I thought was pretty much kind of boring. The 6 was interesting at the ending of it and what he learned to do, and then the difference between it took him. I like how they show where it took him centuries or whatever measurement of time to learn the stuff he had to learn to be able to master.
Yeah, the physics.
So that was pretty interesting. But episode 5, I really wasn't impressed. Episode 6 was slightly better, but nothing for me to write home about. But I'm sure others will feel different.
Okay. Anzo.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with Danny. I think episode 5 was a nothing burger. I did not like episode 5 at all. I thought they could have done a lot more with it. Personally, I did enjoy episode 6. It started off the way I thought it was gonna be. They also answered a question that I had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They answered a question that I had, and I thought it picked up towards let's say, after the first couple of repeats, Groundhog Day things. Once they brought in the Jonathan Major stuff, and it started to get better from there. So episode 6 was pretty good, but episode 5, nah.
Okay. All right, Brian.
All right. So episode 5, as much as I love this series, I really did like this series a lot. It was all setup. It was an episode full of setup, and I understood why they did it, but it was a lot of fluff. Episode 6, I think, is the greatest finale we've had from Disney Plus, period. The best finale I've seen, period. There is nothing about that was not great, and they deserve a standing ovation for what they did. So it did exactly the opposite what they messed up on every other show. Like, it was kind of weak going in that penultimate one, but that 6th one, they knocked it out of the fucking park. So yeah, I'm all about that.
Thank you, Brother Heimdall.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Warren is going straight to the hottest section of hell.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
That's how I feel about that. Like, what the hell? Where did that come from? Okay. Anything else, Brian?
No, I mean, no. I can't wait to talk about 6, but when we talk about 5, it's filler. That's just
okay. Okay. Elihu, overall thoughts of 5 and 6.
Overall thoughts 5. Finally got to see Mobius on a jet ski. Hello.
Woohoo!
Yes, I know.
You didn't get to see him on it.
Well, he was sitting on it demonstrating, but it wasn't in the water. So hey, technically he was on the jet ski. Yeah, I even asked answered that exact same question on X, and he's like, "Yeah, I had the same thing." And like, yeah, what the hell? And I didn't really understand that until I actually saw episode 6. I'm like, okay, that's why they were doing this and this and this. I understand that now. Otherwise, without episode 6, I'm like, what the hell did I just watch? This is shit. But you got to watch episode 6 to understand episode 5 and why they did that. That's why I loved episode 6. It's one of the best shows, best episodes that Marvel has actually produced.
Okay. Austinator. I think, oh my God. What the? Wait. What the? I mean,
now we're...
I can't do it. We'll do it live.
I just can't.
Yeah, now we're getting to the far extreme on the other side now. So go ahead, Alternator.
All right. So, as you all know, I have not liked the show. I thought a good majority of the season was absolute, just boring, mediocre. Jonathan Majors definitely carried it. Sylvie Skywalker, minimum wage worker.
I love it.
You know, this entire season has been lacking. So, I don't know. I put off watching these last 2 episodes for a couple weeks, mainly because, one, we haven't had the roundtable, but also I was just like, oh God, I don't want to watch any more of this. But after watching both episodes back to back, I can honestly say that I did not like this show or these last 2 episodes, because I will admit they're pretty good.
That's the best thing you've ever said about anything.
It's the old Austinator. The old Austinator's back.
Who are you and what'd you do with Austinator?
I don't know what the hell happened, but my expectations were blown out of the water. My expectations were so dead. Like, they were like, you know, like those like fish tanks and the dead fish, and they all belly up. That was my expectations. But finally, someone breathe air in those poor fish.
Alternator has hit his first joint in school.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Brother
Bob.
Thor. Thank you, Brother Thor.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So, breaking news. Austinator says he did not like this, but does that mean that he did like it?
Yes. I will admit these last 2 episodes were pretty good. I'll give my reasonings for why. But overall, I enjoyed them.
Wow,
we are locked in the Matrix right now, guys.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Hey, can I get the red pill and go back in the Matrix, or the blue pill? Apparently, I took the wrong pill.
Oh my gosh!
I want to go back to the sleep.
You thought the blue one was the Viagra? You didn't need it, so dude, come on.
We want that juicy steak, right, Danny? The one that
I
just
want the juicy
so
steak.
damn good.
Yeah. Put me back in the tube and let me go get my steak.
Okay, Mr. Reagan.
That's where you guys live. It's okay.
Yeah,
that was y'all at now.
Thank you, Volstagg.
And I'm talking to a bunch.
We're in the real world where things actually happen.
To a bunch of Mr. Andersons.
You want to go? Yes, we're in the real world where things actually be good.
Okay. All right. Let's go down. Let's talk to Warren. Warren, what are your overall thoughts of these 2 episodes?
So the episode's called Science Fiction. I personally think, and we're talking about 5, I think they should have called it Ouroboros, because it started it's a filler, but it started with what Loki did from the beginning, right? He started blipping out every time from episode 1, and he figured out what it was called, right? So that's what I think they should have called that Ouroboros, because it really sent him back to what he was doing. But overall, episode 5 is a filler setup. That's what I would call it. It's just filler setup and answers a little bit of things. Episode 6 is by far the best Disney show produced since they incorporated it into their streaming service. It gave you a conclusion. It was just great. Overall, the best show. Overall ending story arc. There's a lot of Easter eggs. If you've watched Loki from since Thor till now, you'll understand, but we'll go in depth with that. So overall, I think episode 5 was meh. Episode 6, best show ending ever. Loki is the best show ever.
Whoa. Okay.
Um,
I'm on your side. I was like, oh, ever. Let's pull it back a little bit.
For
Yeah.
for
Why?
Disney Plus.
You
For
know it's
Disney
crazy
Plus.
when Byron is speaking rational.
Brian,
You know
Brian,
it's
for
crazy.
Disney Plus, not best show in in all of cinema. For Disney Plus, it is the best show ever.
It's hard for me as a black man to say that because there's certain things like I saw from Falcon and Winter.
Exactly. Falcon
That
and
was
Winter ending was
for
better.
me.
That was a
that was-
movie. That was not a show. I'm sorry to say that.
Wow.
But it was interesting to me. But as far as
It
the
was
show,
good.
it's
It was a
good. It's top. This might be top, Loki top 2, 3.
I don't think it ain't better than Falcon and Winter
Warren,
Soldier. Not to
I'm
me.
correcting you. It's
Warren,
called Falcon and Captain America.
Warren, to your comment right there, I just have to say,
Oh my gosh. Does that suck?
that the fact that you think that is kind of
It is. I could break it down if we wanted to, but like, do you want to?
Now I have to kill all of you.
But
Yeah, she's
yeah.
my method.
But continue, brother Volstagg, please.
I keep death by old age.
okay. So my overall thoughts on 5 and 6. Okay, 5 complete setup. Absolutely, that's all it's there for. I didn't hate it, but if you're gonna do that, at least mash 2 episodes up, or at least 2 episodes at a time. Because when you have one hanging on, I know it's been a couple weeks since we've been on this show, and but if you're gonna do that, it leaves so much wonder about what you're going to do that when I finally did see 6, I liked 6 a lot. And there's a lot of stuff I'm going to say about 6. But because the way they did it, it took some time for me to really come out with what I think about 6. And, so I think they worked really well together. I think the series definitely underplayed itself a lot of the ways through, and then when it got to the end, I think it made all of us go like, well, wait a minute, that's not what I thought they would do. But nobody, I think, in this group, I don't know that, I'm not sure that if anybody in this group is going to say it's not what I thought they were going to do, but I don't think they did it right, because ultimately I'm not sure that by doing something completely different than what most of us probably would have thought they were going to do, I think that alone did a lot for this show, if that makes any sense. All right, let's talk about our likes. We'll start, because I have to start here just because of the rays of sunshine that were emanating from his circle avatar. It almost sounded like SpongeBob come to life. I have to know, Austinator, what are your likes?
Well, Chris, you'd be shocked to know that I have a ton of positives for.
Oh my gosh!
For this episode of the Roundtable. So let me pull out my gigantic list out of my comically sized wagon.
Okay.
With
Let
my
the green magic flow through you, brother.
Thank you. I will do that. Let's see here. Let's go down the list. All right, let's start off with the obvious one for me, because this is something that I've been complaining about through a good chunk of these most recent MCU projects, is the humor. The humor is overly excessive at points, and the humor just isn't very good. But what I liked about the last 2 episodes is that the humor, I thought, at least was blended together really well. In episode 6, it was primarily taken seriously. And I think this is one of the main things that I took away from this. And I kind of like to call it an experiment. That when the MCU heavily relies on the humor aspect, it sucks. But when it kind of blends it together well with the serious stuff, it works quite well. And surprisingly, it worked. I give him a little golf clap for that. I give him a little participatory, like, congratulations, a little pat on the back for finally figuring it out 3 years in the game. Then
You make it sound like it's a special kid in class, and you just finally go over and go like, "I'm so glad you finally got it. Thank you.
I
That's
know, it's
just good
surprising.
job there. Better late than never."
He's not wrong. Though.
No, he isn't. Just the way he says it. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors again, I thought was great, especially in the last episode where he played both Victor Timely and He Who Remains, and the whole conversation he has with Loki was probably
Awesome.
it was probably the best scene of the entire show. And I will admit that when he he pauses Sylvia, that like just pretty much just clicks her away. I thought that was pretty fucking hilarious. I mean, that's all I've wanted to do the entire show is just see her go away. But seeing that little interaction between Loki and Kang, and him telling Loki, "Hey, you have to do it this way, or else, bad shit's gonna happen." And then Loki's like, "I'll do it a different way than the other ways." And I was like, huh. I never thought of it like that. Good job. Good creative writing, guys. Sylvie, look, I'll be honest, I gave her a lot of shit this season. I mean, the whole McDonald's stuff really did not hit. She was acting like a Karen, didn't appreciate that. But these last 2 episodes, I did not mind her. I thought she came off very, what's the word? Like almost very, like you understand, like almost like what she's going through in a way. Like you actually see it, and she conveys emotion and character to the point where I was like, you kind of feel bad for her. And in that last scene with Sylvie and Loki, like talk about like what do I do? Should I kill you or not? Like that, I thought that was another really, really well done scene that I do appreciate. And also seeing like the variants of like the various TVA members, I thought in episode 5, it is a setup. I do agree with that, but I think it set up the finale very well because you kind of can't. It's one of those filler episodes which typically I complain about, but this time I thought the filler was kind of necessary. Although I do agree maybe it could have been done better. I think if you watch it back to back, it kind of works. Let's see here. What else do I got? I did like the overall visual of Loki ripping apart that whole the loom, and then like seeing it like turn like green, and seeing him like sit on the throne at the end. I was like, oh, that's such a sick visual. Like, because his whole character arc, in the MCU is like he wants to be king, and now that, and I think I saw someone post this on Twitter, that now that he doesn't really want it, he has to take the throne. And I was like, oh, that's actually kind of interesting. Actually, I never really thought of it like that. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Austin, did you watch that little short I put in the group chat on X?
I don't think so. No.
Oh,
just call it Twitter. It's okay. Like, we can still call it Twitter, because if you go online, you have to type in Twitter. It's okay. Call it
Twitter. Let's see here. What else did I like? The acting was great all around. As that's typically not the MCU's problem. I will admit the whole sequence, I think in like the last episode where Victor Timely was like trying to like set up the loom, but like he kept dying. I thought that was kind of funny because like there are just moments where like he's like, no, don't drop it, and then like he just dies. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, that's pretty. It made me chuckle. I think overall what these 2 episodes did well is something that I think the MCU kind of lost like track of, which is great storytelling. And I think these last 2 episodes did a good job at telling a really impactful story in these past 2 episodes than it did the entire season. So I kind of have to commend them for it. And now I'm being serious here. Like, a lot of these shows as a whole kind of fail at telling a good story because I think Terrence said it best, that these shows are good at making moments and not necessarily a good show. And granted, my opinions on Loki as a show still remain the same. Like, I think the show overall just wasn't great, but I'll give them this. They stuck the landing like they should have. And I think they did that very well. So I mean, again, it's been a couple weeks since I've seen these episodes, but I overall really, really enjoyed these. I can't lie about that. So as far as my positives go, that's it.
Okay, very nice. I will. Very nice. I really appreciate that insight. Very good. Okay, let's go to Danny. Danny, go next. Overall likes of the last two episodes.
I'm gonna be really serious about this. I really didn't give this show that much of my attention, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie and try to fabricate. I can barely remember what it was. I'm glad that y'all liked it because there have been some shows, and I'll say Boba Fett that I liked, other people didn't. So now I see the other side of the shoe, or the other side of the mirror. I'm not going to sit here and bash it because maybe I should go back and watch it, but I really just wasn't interested. And like I said earlier, the only reason I'm here is out of obligation and friendship. The fifth show, I really can't remember any details about it. The sixth one was quite interesting. I think I like the irony part of like Loki, always wanted the throne, and now he has a throne, maybe a throne that he can't get rid of or don't get rid of, or I don't know how it is, or now it's he who remains. I don't know. I'm very interested in hearing y'all theories because maybe y'all can enlighten me on some things that I just didn't pick up because I just really wasn't interested in the show at all.
Okay. All right. Very good. Let's go down. Let's hear what Warren has to say. I'm worried, but
Overall, what was that supposed to mean? Overall of both, or are we still doing episode 5? I just want to be.
No, you're doing likes. You're doing your likes for 5 and 6, both. Just
likes.
talk about it together.
Likes. Both. Likes. I just like the overall development of of Loki. Um, I liked He Who Remains Kang is very cold. He's probably the coldest villain because in the end he's just he planned everything and he's like, you still can't beat me even when you try. And that to me is a villain that just, that he's winning. He's gonna win no matter what is really scary. So unfortunate situation with Majors is and what that is gonna happen for the MCU, but I like that a lot. We got to see more of Sylvie.
So let me ask you this, Warren: did Loki end up beating him?
No.
So he's still out there somewhere.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
It's like it's a stalemate right now. That's basically
his variants are they're going out. They're killing his variants. That's what the TVA is doing right now.
Right.
But when you purge, when you do that to a variant, it goes somewhere. And
It's not
all
a
they're doing is getting all Kangs in one place, and they're going to cause a big problem.
It is a statement, Eli Hugh, but I'll debate you later on that because I can explain that too.
So couldn't the same be done with Loki if he start killing all his variants, the one that make him more powerful?
That's exactly what happened. They were all in the same place, but not all Lokis were evil. So now when you have all of Kangs going to that one place, they are evil and they are geniuses and all that stuff. Now you creating a problem.
But now isn't Loki a genius?
No.
No, he's good at what he does.
Yeah,
God. To some extent, yes.
I thought he gained all that knowledge and all that.
Gained knowledge
as a physicist, but not like a genius overall.
Yeah, he's not a genius. He mastered the magic where Kang mastered time with tech, and that's what he want because he knew that he had the ability to do it. That's why he said, "I've been watching you all this time," which is why I go, it goes back to the finale. You have to pay attention to the words he said when he's sitting down talking with them.
Mhm.
Episode 5 was it was more like sentimental in the sense that you got to see more of Mobius and where Hunter B and that stuff. I like that. I think I what I liked about episode 6, because 5 is not that much for me to talk about. I'm not gonna, drag that out. I thought it was okay, not a bad episode, but just okay. 6 was more of what I wanted out of Disney Plus as a streaming service. I got what I wanted, a actual conclusion, and I can sit back and say, you know what? They ended it well. I like that. That's what I wanted from a show. Like, don't get me wrong, I've watched other shows, but that was the most important thing for me. I don't know about other people on the panel, but I got a conclusion because if you've paid attention to the character and you liked him, which I do, I even have Loki shirts. um, I could prove that. That was what I liked the most. What they can do with the character is even much better, but that depends on the direction that Marvel's going to go. And what I liked is that Loki wasn't selfish because that has been his whole thing. Me, me, me. But then again, we have to go back to episode 5. Why it's a filler. Once he started to see his friends go away, he's like, "What can I do to keep them here?" So I think it was a good development of Loki overall, and I want to see. This is later on, but not gonna spoil anything. I want to see what they do with him on that throne because it's not what he wanted, but it's what he had to do, um, which is honorable. So yeah, that's all.
Okay, very good. Brian.
All right. So episode 5, I believe it was, very Groundhog's Day ish. It was more him trying to figure out himself and also him defining what he was in. He was in a prison, in time prison, and the slippage was his chance to get out, the key to him getting out. So that's kind of what all episode 5 really did. It was just all set up for 6. So if you look at them as one entity, it gets a lot better. But 5 by itself was hard for me to stomach because it didn't really give me anything but just more questions. But 6 did everything that you're supposed to do in a finale. And it's the first time they understood the assignment, actually hit it. Gave you emotions, made you understand the character. This episode took 14 years of him playing Loki and put it all down to how he matured into another being, and then he understood what he needed to do, and he became what he always wanted to become, a king. But it was at the thing at it was at the cause of him still not getting what he wants because he still lost all the people he loved, the people that he really wanted to be connected with. He had to give them up in order for them to go on, and that's real sacrifice. So he finally became a real hero. He went from an anti-hero to a real hero, and him becoming the god of stories was very interesting that they chose to go that way. And I'm a little bit interested to see what Disney is going to do with that, because with him being in charge of all these variants, all these strands of the multiverse, if we're going to get Battle World Earth, as it was suggested that we're going to get in Avengers 5 and 6 and stuff like that, then he has to let go of this stuff. And they have a lot more room to do. But they did all those things in one episode, which they have not done in any episode for any finale. Tom Hiddleston did his thing as far as acting. Jonathan Majors always brings it, and he definitely brought it. And I believe him as a villain. I think Disney's doing him a disservice. They're not giving. He should have won in other places. If he beat Ant-Man, if he won, in other areas when you bring him in, they would have made him a better villain, and this whole thing would have went further along. But I love what they did with this episode. I love how that Loki had to go through all those Groundhog's Day to understand how to stop time and to actually control the time, and understanding He Who Remains and getting on his level. I thought it was beautiful. It was very comic book y. So like if you love comic books, episode 6 was straight out of the panels. Like if it was $170 million that was spent on this series, $100 million was spent on just this episode 6. Just it was beautiful. It was well done, well maintained, well acted. I didn't hate any character at the end, and I don't like Sylvie either. But you know, I didn't hate anyone because it all made sense. They finished. They gave a finale, and that's what I've been waiting for years. And I think it deserves a standing ovation. I loved that episode. Series as a whole, yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay, very good. Let's go up to Anza. Anza, go ahead.
Yeah, so episode 5 to me, like you guys said, was a filler. And so what I heard was the reason why is because they actually had something else planned, but Marvel nixed it and told them they weren't able to do it. It was supposed to be something epic, and Marvel said no. So he had to rewrite the episode, and it was rewritten within like 5 days.
No, it was like a day.
It was a day, right? Yeah.
It was one day. We gotta do it.
Yeah. So I can understand why the episode turned out the way it did. I don't know. It was just slow. It was really nothing really happening. I get it. And I said from episode 1 that they were kind of they foreshadowed seeing Morbius in his normal life, right? They foreshadowed that. So I knew they were going to do that at some point. Just wasn't sure it was going to be like that. Didn't really feel it. Episode 6, as I said, when I first started watching, I'm like, oh, okay, they're doing this Groundhog Thing day, which I said I had a feeling they were going to do. And then they answered the question that I had. I'm like, well, why didn't he just go back to the time where Sylvie, was going to kill He Who Remains? And then they did that. So I said, okay, that's pretty good what they did. Jonathan Majors, of course, he kills it as always. And, certain times in his conversation, he was doing his like Jonathan Majors, He Who Remains thing. And then at one point, his conversation just got like real serious. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting the way he did that. He mocked Victor Timely. You know what I mean? Let them know like, oh, Victor Timely was really nothing. It was nothing. And so when Sylvie killed him in episode 1, we were like, man, I don't like that. Now come to find out that he actually had a contingency plan for that was really interesting. I was okay, so that makes some sense. You know what I mean?
I mean, he planned it all. He told her, he basically put the knife in her hand and said, go ahead and do it. And girl, like losing her mind, what the hell? No, it was all part of the plan.
You're right. But the only problem I have with that is in season 1, at one point, he tells them, oh, I fibbed and I don't know what happens after this point. Right. But it seemed to me like he knew it was going to happen. And this, I knew this was going to happen. Even when Loki froze time, he was like, oh, you finally learned to do it and stuff like that. So I was just like, it's not that kind of weird.
I think it's still the same point for him. So, because what he was saying is it was an Ouroboros. So no matter what, when she killed him, it was going to always come back to this exact point. So he doesn't know anything that goes beyond that because it's beyond that choice that Loki had to make.
I got you. I also seen a video where they talk about in season 1 where Sylvie's about to lunge and kill him, and the screen kind of freezes. They kind of say they had an idea like that's what they were going to do from season 2. So it seems like they had season 1 and 2 pretty much mapped out how they were going to do it. Loki becoming the God of Stories was interesting. I had a feeling they were going to do that. I said that he's probably going to be He Who Remains at the end, which he kind of is. The visuals on that scene though, where he was, walking towards and the branches were dying and everything was absolutely amazing. And then when everything turns green, and I just thought it was well done. I really enjoyed episode 6 up until, once they started with the Jonathan Majors. I'm glad they didn't just keep doing the same, Jonathan Majors dying over and over again, and them trying to do it like that. I'm glad they didn't continue with that episode and they went further with it, because I was kind of worried about that. But I think they just did it a little bit too many times at the beginning. But that's it. Other than that, man, I think the episode was really good. Well done.
Okay, very good. Let's see here. Elihu.
Nobody's going to mention Clint Eastwood. Come on, Frank
shit.
Morris, Escape from Alcatraz. KC,
Oh, yeah, that-
hello, come on, that's classic. It's the second Loki had an interference with real history. I love that.
Hold on, Eli. I got one more because I forgot and I just looked at your picture. When Loki was doing the back and forth and he ran into the room with Jonathan Majors and Renslayer and Miss Minutes, the way they did Miss Minutes' eyes and the blink, I was dying. I thought that was so funny.
Like, what the fuck?
yeah, that's it. That's the look she has. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was cool. All right, go ahead, Eli.
Okay, so, yeah, no problem. Okay, yeah, I love that second real life interaction. Episode 5, like I said before, if you watch it alone, I'm like, what the hell? But it actually flowed because the way Loki had to understand himself. You notice that he wasn't time slipping back to when he was making fun of Thor in the play. He was time slipping back to his friends, people who actually needed. That's why I'm gonna talk about part 5 and 6 together. He actually flowed back to his friends at the point. We got another little history. That's who he flowed back to. Right, we got the little history though. I mean, I love the fact that Ouroboros was an unsuccessful writer, and now he's an unsuccessful writer in the TVA. But now he's a celebrated writer. I love that fact. That loop for him. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
The visual effects on the bridge was extraordinary. I had to watch the episode where Loki got pulled out of the time stream a couple times to actually look at something. Loki was not spaghettifying when he left the time stream because he's a god. That's why he didn't need the suit. I realized that. He's just like Thor and the sun. He's as started. He didn't need that. He used his magic, and he didn't need that. I'm like, that's why. Because I'm like, wait a minute. Did he spaghettify when he's coming out of the timeline? No.
Never did.
I have a different thought process on why that's like that, but I'll say it. I'll hold off until you're done.
Okay.
I was a little confused of why everybody disappeared and Loki did until I remembered, oh, wait a minute. He got pulled out of the time stream. He had no time to go anywhere. That's why the TVA was spaghettifying, because he's out of time. He has nowhere to go. That's where he's talking to his friends. I love that interaction, though. And I love how this is, as like I said, I hate bootstrap paradoxes, but this is a complete Ouroboros loop. This is a loop that He Who Remains planned. I love this because if you look in the elevator, he doesn't use the time pad. He just pops back behind Loki, and Loki grabs him his arm. He knew that was happening. He knew this was going to happen. This is all part of his plan. That's why he called him champ. That's why he's called him champ. I'm like, he knew Loki was going to do this. That's why he's got the Kangs to take it over again, because he's going to fight him. He's going to fight for the throne. Because look, if you turn all the Kang variants, they're going to go to where? The Void. And who's in the Void? Eliath. Eliath doesn't recognize the other Kang variants until He Who Remains appears. I'm like, oh, come on to the end of the time. That's when he's going to fight Loki. Hello. I'm like, this is all a plan for him. Yeah, he's going to help Loki. He's going to help get rid of the variants for him, because they're going to prune it, and there goes Eliath eating him up. So that's a plan for him. He has this all worked out. I love this situation that they got the whole entire Kang loop there. I love that.
Yeah. But like I said, at the point where they dropped the book in the window in Chicago, they even said it. It's a plan, and he's already planned it. So right there, like I said, whatever they came up with could just be easily answered with, it's his plan.
Chris, we did not see on the bottom of the screen if it said Sacred Timeline or Very Alternate Timeline. It didn't say that. So we don't know if that's a variant timeline or a Sacred Timeline that he didn't receive the book.
It doesn't matter, though, because ultimately the plan that they're talking about, because remember, Miss Minute said, if He Who Remains was killed, he told me to do this. So ultimately, when we find out He Who Remains wasn't killed, it was still his plan. It was always his plan. and that's what comes out. You find out that. Is that all you have?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, so we'll just go by 5. Yeah, 5 had some cool stuff in it. Just it was filler setup, and like Brian and Anzo already said that there's a lot behind why that was like that. I'm just going to say this. So the reason why he didn't spaghettify was because I don't think anything ever went past the point of the end of time. Everything at the point in the end of the first season, after they see he who remains, everything in season 2 is more like kind of like a dream state for Loki. He thought this was going on. He thought that they were trying to do something, but then when everything came back to it, that conversation he has with He Who Remains is basically the end of time. That is it. That is where everything happens, and it just keeps looping back to that point. So where we thought it was looping to, it wasn't really looping to it. It's looping back to there because remember. Loki asks He Who Remains. That's one point. Or no, He Who Remains asks Loki. It's like, is this the first time we've had this conversation? And Loki awesomely plays him by saying something. I forget exactly what he said, but he basically says, yes, this is the first time. And then Sylvie starts again. And he snaps and stops her again. And that's when He Who Remains realizes, okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so you have been here before. We're past that point. And so, again, I think the reason why he's not spaghettifying is the spaghettifying is his, I don't know, I don't want to call it a dream. I don't want to call it about a vision. It's just that's where everything for him stops because he can't get past that point. Because that point is the end of time. It won't go past there because the ultimate problem for him is, do I kill Sylvie? Just keep her from killing him because that's going to happen if we go forward down that line. Or do I rip the loom apart and not kill Sylvie? And he eventually decides to rip the loom apart and make the greater sacrifice. So this does, again, I forget who said it, and I think several people have said it. This really did the one thing that a lot of other series have not done, which is made the show about the person the show is supposed to be about. Ultimately, it is about Loki. It all comes down to Loki. Loki is the one that has to come up with the answer, and he's the one that does it. He makes a hard decision. And like you guys said, he wants to be there with those people, but he realizes that, and again, I still think this is all for naught.
Chris, your mic.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Chris, your mic.
Yeah,
I think Elihu then.
it might be you, Eli, because
you're good. You're good.
Okay. I think this is all for naught because, like you guys said, I think He Who Remains is still there. I think that the sacred timeline is still an idea. It may not be there. But again, I think they built in this contingency of the words, this is his plan. So whatever they end up planning on doing, as long as they keep Kang, because I'm still of the mindset that they need to keep Kang in this and they need to finish out this Kang dynasty stuff. However they do it.
Does Loki friends know that he sacrificed for them?
Kind of, I think.
Yeah.
They watched him do it. I don't know if they know he's still alive, but I know that they know that he sacrificed. They know he sacrificed something. They don't know if it's him or what.
Because Sylvie says he's giving us a chance.
Yes, exactly.
He knows he's doing something. They may not know exactly what he's doing, but they know he was doing something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I want to say that the best parts about this show were the fact that it is about Loki. Loki is the main person, and they made it about him. And I think that whole last part there is just the reason why things started falling apart for him was because he realized something there at the end of 5. that allowed him to start controlling that. Because then when it gets to a point in its ending, he knows I can go back and start over again. So that point right there where the loon died is the end of time. It's just the end of time, the end of the timeline. That's in another part of the dimensions or something like that. And so when he slips back to that, he now has started to realize, okay, think about it like 3D chess, three-dimensional chess. Loki was thinking of everything two-dimensionally, and when he started realizing the whole purpose of what's going on, he started thinking in three-dimensional terms and started controlling it into some amounts until he realized instead of trying to control it or instead of trying to stop it or change it, he had to be the one to control it. That's why he took over at the end. And he tore apart, or he grabbed all the strings and held them together. I think that's what was really going on there. Is he was trying to stop or change something. When he realized, no, that's not what I have to do. I have to actually take control. And like you guys said, something that he said, I don't want a throne. He ended up having to have that throne. He had to be the man to give structure to chaos in a sense. Because I think his dad his stepdad, whatever you say, Odin said it many times that sometimes being a king isn't about making, it isn't about the decision. It's about why the decision was made. So because it isn't always the right decision. It's just at that time that decision had to be made. And I can't remember the exact line, but I know Odin said it several times, more to Thor than to Loki. But he even said it to Loki in the first Thor movie. Says you have to be strong enough to make those decisions you don't want to make. That's what makes a good king. And so I think it all brings that back together too. But I mean, I think that the sixth episode just knocked it out of the park. So I think Elihu's back. I think he lost some things. But we'll go around. We'll talk about the things we didn't like. Let's start with Danny, because what didn't you like, Danny?
I definitely like episode 5, but after listening to y'all, I'm probably gonna definitely go back and watch episode 6. Maybe I can get a better grasp of it. Watching it. I really don't like the fact that I hear y'all saying y'all think he remains still out there, but I'm not certain because for the simple fact of the real life aspect of the character. If he don't make it, then I think they're gonna write him out. I don't know if they're gonna recast him or not. I don't know.
Reincarnation, baby. Reincarnation.
From one of the videos I seen, it seems like they're still sticking with the Kang stuff, but if they have to, they will recast. So that's what I heard.
Okay, well, I hope they do because I don't know whether I'm gonna still like the King character as much because I definitely think Jonathan Majors embodied, and that's what we can see in our mind's eye and actually the eye test that he is King. But I'm sure someone, if they're gonna go that route and do the King dynasty or whatever storyline they're gonna go with, it should be interesting. I never really followed King in the comic books, but Jonathan Majors has definitely breathed life into him and has made me interested in him. I'm not sure I'm gonna like this noble Loki because I'm always used to him having all kind of the trickster and that type of stuff. But now he seems to take up that noble mantle, and I'm definitely interested to see if this going to spur into Loki 3. I would definitely pay more attention if they do a Loki 3. I don't know if they're going to do a Loki season 3 or not. I don't know, but maybe this may carry on into the what if. This might be some. They may finish it or do something in What If episode 2, so I'll definitely be watching for that. But this just was not one of my favorite MCU movies. He is one of my favorite MCU characters. This particular show just wasn't my cup of tea. Again, I think I like episode 4. I think I said it when we were doing it. Episode 5 I just did not get, even though I know I could understand the premise of why it was made and it was set up like y'all said. But it just really didn't grab my attention. And while some of the things that y'all saying sparked more interest in the actual watching the show myself, I like what y'all saying. So if it is in fact what y'all saying and y'all take on it is correct, then it definitely was a good show. Sticking the landing, I don't know about all that, and being the best thing since sliced bread. I ain't gonna say that. I would still think that's Falcon and Winter Soldier. And up until the last episode of Secret Invasion, it was my number one. They definitely did stick the landing. But this is not the worst show. But it's not definitely in my mind not number one.
Okay, very good. Anzo, what didn't you like?
Well, episode 5 for sure, right? I just thought they just dragged it out, you know what I mean? I wish I would have liked to see or at least know what they were planning on doing with it. I hope that comes out one day, but episode 5 I did not like. In episode 6, the only thing I really didn't like about episode 6, well, there's two things. One, the beginning, I think the Groundhog Day stuff was a little bit too much. And, you know, he goes back and he talks to Sylvie and he's like, oh, I'm trying to stop this from happening. And she's like, well, I guess you have to kill me, right? He's like, yeah. And she's like, I guess you want my blessings, right? And she's like, well, you're not going to get that. And I'm like, well, you're selfish because you keep sitting around how you could, oh, I don't want, killing these timelines and everything is bad and this and that. And then when time comes to you can save it, she's like, no. So I thought she was very selfish in that situation. But at the same time, I would have preferred if, she said, well, Loki, you need to do what you have to do to preserve the timelines, blah, blah, blah. And then Loki found another way himself, you know what I mean? So, you know what, maybe there is another way or something like that. But at least it would have made sense that, or to me, like, oh, okay, well, at least, she cares about the timelines and it's not just her life in the timelines. And that's what it felt like to me. That pretty much was the only things that I didn't like about episode 6. Other than that, it was pretty good.
Okay, very good. Warren, what didn't you like? Remember, okay, I'm gonna make this point. Did not like.
Oh, let me think about that. I
What
think
am I talking about?
Ouroboros
Like,
was.
I gotta think of,
I think no. I was gonna say Ouroboros didn't get used as best I thought it would have been, considering the name. Renslayer, I thought would have had more of impact, but she just kind of was a redhead stepchild to Sylvie, but a little bit better in moments. That was my one thing about Renslayer. I think considering what we know in the comics about the relationship between Ravonna and He Who Remains, I'm not. Oh, I mean, Miss Minutes did show her that thing, but you know, they kind of did leave one thing unanswered. Like, what is she gonna go into the pyramid? What is she gonna do there? Because we see the cloud, we think Elias, but I thought Elias got beaten in the last season. So, I think the one thing I didn't like is what happened with Renslayer, because she also had, to me, was a very key role throughout the first season and through some parts of the season. So I would say Renslayer was a disappointment to me, considering everything. And then probably Mobius. I was expecting a little bit more, but uh, okay, he's just a guy. I thought maybe there'd been more to his character. Now that's nitpicking, but just to be some guy that was selling jet skis, whoop de doo, you could have been a car salesman at that point. So yeah, those were my biggest things, to be honest. Nothing more.
Okay, Brian, dislikes.
I think a lot of the money, as I said, from what they had for their budget, went to episode 6, and some of the other episodes could have had world building or us visiting other worlds and stuff like that. That would have given a different feel. It would have felt more like season 1. I think a lot of times they stayed in the same room, in the same same atmosphere over and over again because they didn't have the money to continue to spend on the world building. I also don't like the
You
idea
love
that
that
they.
world building, boy. That's your go-to.
That's what you need to do. If you're gonna have something that's gonna be 6 episodes and gonna have an hour-long thing, you better build the world, or you're gonna be running in place. So what's no point of running in place? That's just don't give me a show. Then give me a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I feel like that was one thing. I also think that it's kind of bad. I think what they're going to do, we're going to see them trimming the branches and all time, like going away, like going down to one world. And I wish we would have got to see that in episode 5. That would have been an awesome episode with them going down to one world and Loki figuring out that he can go back in time and change all of it. But I think that's where we're going to get to that idea of battle world, and that's why Marvel nixed that, because that's what's going to happen anyway in the big storyline, the bigger storyline. So that's why they nixed it. I wish we would have solved that, because that's what the story was going towards. I gotta say, as much as I love the Loki character, I don't think they did a great job with all the other characters wrapping up them. They just kind of left it very open ended, and it doesn't seem like we're gonna get a Loki season 3 or even revisit a lot of these people. So there will be characters that we just don't know anything else about. So as much as I feel like they did focus on that one title character, they didn't do a great job with everybody else. But besides that, I gotta tell you, I enjoyed it. You know how I felt about 6 already. I think 6 was almost a masterpiece. So that's me.
Okay. Austinator.
I really don't have much that I dislike. I mean, I'd say maybe the only real thing I didn't really care for is, I will say the beginning of episode 5 is very slow. It is very slow. It does drag, but it does pick up afterwards. I think it's one of those things where I just don't really have anything bad to say about it, surprisingly. I'm not going to comment any more than I already have, because I really did enjoy these 2 episodes. I just don't think I have anything really negative to say about it. So, yeah.
Wow. Nice. Okay.
That's it.
Thank you, my fellow Asgardian.
Oh,
you're welcome.
You gotta have some sort of negatives, Warren.
Oh my god.
I did give it a negative. What are you talking about? This Austin you talking about?
Oh no. I thought I didn't know you gave your negatives.
Oh yeah, I did. I said Rents. Oh
Yeah.
Renslayer. Right.
You know, sometimes I try to just block anything out you say. So I do apologize for that.
Comedian. Okay, comedian.
I was gonna say I was gonna ask if you were film, but I'm like, oh, it's Warren. Never mind.
Oh my. Okay, Elijah. Dislikes.
Yeah, what the hell is that? What Renslayers are? Come on, that just left everybody in the blank. I did not like that. That's number 1 hate I hate about the show. Number 2 is it ended. Man, and
Really?
Hiddleston even went on talk show saying he's glad that he played Loki and the Loki arc is ended, story arc is ended. I'm like, oh come on, Hiddleston.
I don't think it's ended, because I think he has like 3 more. I think his. I'll look it up. But keep going though.
I think when he says the arc is over, I think he's talking about the TV show. I don't think Loki's arc is over, because it's a little bit of an important character now, right?
Yeah. That's why I was like, what? What else did I not like? Yeah, like I said before with Anzo, I even asked him like, why the hell did he slip back forward? Sylvia about to stab him. I'm like, what the hell? Then he finally explained that part. But I did not like the story when Loki was talking to He Who Remains, and he's like, you have to do the ultimate sacrifice and do what you have to do. And the camera goes to Loki and Sylvia, I'm like, oh shit, he's going to kill Sylvie. No, don't do that to me, man. I thought that would have been a great arc to kill Sylvie. But no, they just put it off. I know. I thought that was put a great arc. Like, no, that's a teaser. No.
I was sitting there and I was like, yes, kill that bitch. Kill it.
Yes. I would have been a prophet because I called it. If she did.
Oh, that was a huge. No, I did not like that little teasing arc. No, man, that sucked. Give us something useful, please.
I agree. It would have been more impactful if he actually killed her. And I mean, like, damn, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the timely dying over and over again was a little ridiculous. How many times can you show him how to die? It would just been better if they cut that out and just go to the repeating stuff like, don't forget the helmet, don't drop it, don't forget don't keep moving. Yeah, if they just kept that instead of the repeating timely So we got to find over and over and over and over again. How many times can we hear that Wilhelm scream? Come on. Jeez.
Without it, you don't have the frustration. It's trying to build in the audience the frustration that he's feeling, though he understands all of what's going on. He still can't get past it. You have to build that up. So I mean, I feel like it wasn't that bad to do it. They didn't do it. If they would have kept it going for 10, 15 minutes, that would have been too much. But they really didn't. They gave it to enough for you to understand the frustration he's feeling, that he's trying on all things he can try without, hammering it over the head. If it would have did even more, then that would be the problem. But I think they get just the right amount.
Yeah. And
anything else?
Yeah, there was supposed to be a Marvel rumor insider, not the speculation, but somebody actually works for Marvel that said that Hemsworth was on set, spot on set one day, and I was watching this little short here that actually made sense of maybe there was an extra cut scene because if you watch the Battle of New York, there's a part where Loki's actually fighting, and all of a sudden he stops and he has a confused look on his face. He looks at the city, the damage, like, looks at Thor, and he jumps away. Then all of a sudden he's fighting again. Was that a cutscene that he time stuff back there just to see Thor? Because I'm like, wait a minute, that actually does make sense. So I thought it was a bad edit for a movie, but I'm like, wait a minute. Because I was promised at least Throg. Come on.
Well, the theory is that like the episode had something to do with him going back to New York and that stuff. So maybe you're right. Maybe there was something there. I don't know.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, one other part I wanted to add on the part I liked. When he was doing his little back time slipping, and he was talking about how much time to learn physics, like centuries. Then they go centuries later. Thank you for not having a montage like Stargate they did with the clipboard. Thank you for that. Thank you. Centuries later worked perfectly.
The only thing that would have made that more epic is if they had the whole SpongeBob centuries later or something like that. Because while that is stupid humor, like Austin here was talking about, I still think that something about that would have been poetic.
Yeah, but I did not want to see like a Stargate-esque clipboard and then him sitting there like,
Yeah, no, for sure.
I love that. Centuries later. Thank you. Perfect.
All right. Anything else?
Those are my likes and hates.
Okay. All right. So I'm not even going to pick on 5 because here's the thing: when it becomes filler, when you hear about the stuff like you guys are talking about it being having to literally be rewritten in a second, it could have been a lot worse. Obviously, they could have really screwed the pooch on that. So they kind of took some easy paths. They showed us, the other lives and stuff, which is cool. I thought that was good. So I'm not really going to attack 5. I can't attack it as lackadaisical because there's a reason. We heard the reason for why it happened. And I don't have anything to throw at 6. I mean, could they have done some things differently? Yes, but did it have to be? Did that make it bad? No, it didn't. I don't think. Again, I had to think about this. So we were sitting there watching it. I made the last watch party that Anzo had, and I know we talked about this right after it's done. We were kind of like, huh. And just because you go, huh, doesn't mean, well, that sucked. It literally made you have to stop and say, wait a minute, does this work for me? Did this work? Does this make sense for this? And I think it's almost like when you see it, let's say, a skateboarder or a snowboarder or a gymnast do something that hasn't been seen first, you kind of just stop for a second and go like, what did I just see? Wait a minute, what was that? And it was kind of like that. So yeah, I think they stuck the landing. I think they did. Now I hope, and I don't think they're done with Tom Hiddleston. I think they've done what they've done with several other people in the MCU, be it Robert Downey, be it Captain America, Chris Evans. Yeah.
Johansson.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Scarlett Johansson after this new deal that the actress just signed, because that was the big beef with MCU, Disney, and her, was the fact she didn't see any of the residuals from the streaming. So we'll see if they maybe worked out some deal.
Coming back too.
Yeah, I think she will. And if they have that deal,
Who?
what?
Who'd you say, Byron?
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, it sounds like she's gonna be coming back too.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So, but they've written it in a way that they're not required to be the, here's a contract for 7 movies. We need you here for every one of these. It sounds like they know that they need these people to show up. It does lean to the multiversal side of things that they need them to show up because they're going to show up in different parts of different universes. Maybe Scarlett Johansson's looks the same in a different universe, but it's different. Maybe she's the head Avenger or something. I don't know. Who knows what they're going to do. But yes, I think that they're not done with Tom Hiddleston. I think they've just finally said you're not handcuffed to this part anymore. But then again, much like Iron Man, much like a lot of these people, who would you pick to play Loki if you picked a different actor to play Loki? I mean, it's what they're going to run into when it comes down to Wolverine. Wolverine is going to be a hit or miss. It can't be anything in between because either everybody's going to be like, man, that's just perfect. That's exactly the person you need to do, or everybody's going to go back and go like, well, no, they should have just brought.
Basically, they don't want to pull a Brandon Ruth.
Well, I don't think he did a bad job. I think he was moody. I think it was the way it was written. I don't think he looked the part. I think it was a lot of other things in that movie that didn't do well. Because yes, he's very moody in that. It's a moody Superman. But then again, hey, that was emo times, so maybe that's what works. Emo Superman. Anyways, I don't have anything to throw at 6, and I can't really throw anything at 5 because it's just that's kind of a softball to do that. So yeah, I think that they stuck the landing. I thought it was done really well, and hey, you can't beat that. So, anyways, all right. So we're gonna go around. Everybody give the grades on the last 2 episodes and give you a grade for the overall season. And just your overall thoughts of, let's see, the 2 seasons. What'd you think of the way they wrapped this all together? Because everything I read, they stated this was what it was supposed to be. This is how it was supposed to be. And it was 2 halves of a book. The first half was season 1. The second half was season 2. So how do you think that all turned out? And we will start with Danny.
I give 5 a D. I give episode 6 probably a B plus. The overall season, if I'm honest, C plus, B minus. I didn't hate it, but I'm not in love with it. The two seasons overall, it was interesting. I'm tending to lean more towards season 1 because it kept my attention more. But then there's a Jonathan Majors factor that it's something I don't know if you can quantify. It's just he has a particular charisma that kind of draws you to watching whatever he does. So to me, that give a little bit more weight. But overall, it's not in my bottom 3 of Disney Plus productions. I'll definitely probably watch episode 6 again, but I don't think I ever watched the whole series again.
Okay. I don't think I'm not sure if you really, how would I put this? Most of these shows, I think there's certain episodes you need to go watch to get the gist of it. But there are enough filler episodes of most of these that you can kind of not have to deal with it. The only one that I know of all the series that I would say you don't really, that most of the episodes are needed, is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think most every one of those episodes is needed. There was not a lot of fat on that. So, anyways, so you gave you said D for 5, right?
Yeah, give a D for 5.
B plus for 6.
For 6. The overall series a B minus.
Okay.
And then the 2 together, the 2 seasons together, probably a B plus.
Okay.
It wasn't a bad series, but I don't know what it was. It just really grabbed my attention like the first one did.
Okay. Hey, I understand that. All right. Anzo.
Yes. So first off, before I say this, I want to say the Montreal Alouettes just won the Grey Cup, so congratulations to them for winning that. But episode 5, I will give like a D, as I didn't like episode 5 at all. Episode 6, I'll give it an A plus. Considering some of the stuff that was, kind of. Yeah, for me, it was still really good. Jonathan Majors, of course, does an amazing job in the series. But for the series as a whole, I'll give it. I don't want to go too low, so I'll give it a B.
Okay. And anything about the 2 seasons together? Anything like that? Anything to say?
What's that?
Anything to say about the 2 seasons together as a whole, or?
As a whole, I think it was. I think it was done a great 2 seasons. You know what I mean? Like season 2 connected to season 1. So as a whole for a series, I'll give it a B plus as a series.
Okay. Very good. All right, Warren.
So if we're talking about episode C, well, you know the grade then for
Freudian
episode
slip.
5 is a C. Just that's as much I'll say. Episode
6, you can do it.
Episode 6. You got me there. Episode 6 is a solid A. I think that episode 6 is solid because it does have some faults. That's why I said both episodes a B plus. That's what I give it, and then both seasons A plus. Best. I think if they wrapped it up, if they this is the side note, if they decide to still stick with the 6-episode format, whatever person director, they should look at how Loki was done in a 6-episode format, because that was the best so far as a show. That's the best format I've seen so far for Disney Plus show. That's all.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right, Brian.
All right. So episode 5, I'm gonna keep it real quick. I give it a B minus, only because it set up so much for 6. So you got like extra credit grades because 6 was so good. And I give 6, man. Like if I was grading it, it would be like a 99 out of 100. It was really, really, really good, and I have very little issues with anything that they did. I think they really knocked it out of the park. This series, I didn't like it as much as I liked season 1. So season 2, I give like a A minus B plus. Season 1, I thought it was an A. So overall, I give it, A. Loki is one of my favorite things that Disney's done, overall. And it's kind of like what my boy Kenny is over here saying. The only real issue I really had was what they did with Miss Minutes. They kind of just left it out there, just whatever. But it's a A. This is one of the best things I've seen in the MCU or Disney do. So yeah, I like it.
Thank you, Brother Heimdall.
I'm gonna put some gold contacts in next time.
Oh gosh.
I know
go
Warren's feeling
figure.
so vindicated right now, right? Hey, Warren, you're feeling so vindicated.
You goddamn right. You goddamn right. And I'm a milk it. You damn right.
Let's see here. Hold on, though. The last person I remember that milked something and said, I'm right. Didn't they end up in the ER?
Mephisto.
Mm-hmm.
But
Please not
okay,
go Florida, man.
Austinator.
All right, it's me. You're probably wondering about my grades for these 2 episodes. So you're gonna be surprised by some of my grades here. So my grade for episode
5.
5, episode 5. I think I'm going to give episode 5 the highest grade I think I've ever given any for any of the show. I'm gonna give it a B minus because
Oh,
it did a
wow.
solid job.
Wow.
Now,
Nice.
episode 6, I'm going to then counter offer that grade because I'm going to give episode 6 the highest grade that I've ever given this show, and that's an A minus.
Who are you and what'd you do with
Woo.
Austinator?
Now, as far as season overall, well, it's not going to be. I'll be fair. I give it a. I'm going to say it's roughly around a B minus to a C plus. I think the problem is the first chunk of the season just wasn't that great. I wouldn't say it was because I'll be first and just be honest with everybody. I did not like the first season of Loki at all. So maybe it's not high standards, but I definitely thought season 2 was a massive improvement over the first season. But that's really only because of the last 2 episodes. Because but even then, I still thought it was enjoyable. As far as grade, I would give it. I'd give the it's not my favorite, but honestly, it kind of grew on me. I'd give it a C plus show overall. I thought it's all right. Even though I don't like the first season, the second season and the finale really brought it home for me to at least make me kind of see it in a different light. So C plus.
Very good. All right. And Elihu.
Thank
Eli,
you.
the high science guy.
Thank you, brother.
Oh my
Balder.
god.
You
Oh my
are the
God.
science guy. So okay, my overall rating for episode 5 is an astounding C, but episode 6 gets an A plus. Loki season 1, they kind of rushed the Loki character development during the film review. It's like, oh shit, he came to a realization. Oh shit, it changed my life. They could have milked it out a little bit more until he got to the part where he was kept on getting constantly slapped, and that's when he came with a full realization. That would have been a great arc for a complete Loki instead of giving us rushed Loki emotional damage recovery. But season 1 was a good storyline until we got to He Who Remains. Like, okay, we got a Kang in this universe finally. Kang's introduced. Jonathan Majors, excellent fucking thespian. Oh my fucking gosh, what an excellent choice! I love that line when he's talking. I love the inside part when he's talking lines like, "Hey, can I do a little improv?" Like, what do you want? Well, we're talking about marriage. No, hey, nice nose. Good job, thank you. I mean, that was Majors' whole idea, making fun of his own self. I love that. That's what made his character perfect. I'm like, thank you. And
That
the
was
way
his
they had
idea
it,
to do that.
that was Jonathan Majors' idea about the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the way they had the cliffhanger about at the end of season 1, where he sees the statue of He Who Remains, and he's like, "Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!" and he's just speechless. And Loki, who loves to talk, finally was speechless. That was great. I'm like, yeah, the guy who loves to talk, he's finally speechless. That was a great part for Loki there. Season 2 was a little slow with the McDonald's and Sylvia. Yeah, I'm not loving it, but come on. It brought back nostalgia from my childhood. I was looking for the playground outside with the metal slide. Hello. Oh, you know what that is. Somebody else is old. Yeah, if you guys are wondering, those prices were not made up. Those are actual prices they had at McDonald's. Okay, you can feed a family of 10 for $15. Now, barely devaluing it for $15. Okay, yeah, go figure. Fuck McDonald's. But I did
The
like.
value is still the same.
Yeah,
Called inflation.
I love Tom Hiddleston's portrayal, because I remember this one interview he was talking about on this British show. I think it was Grimley show. I forgot the guy's name. He said that when he was in the theater watching Iron Man, he's like, I love this character. He loves the Marvel movies. And then 2 years later, he's watching in the theater and he didn't even pay attention. He's talked to himself. He's all said to himself all of a sudden, "Holy shit! I'm in a scene with Iron Man." I'm like, that is top. This is a guy. This is a great actor. Yeah, he did his character perfectly. Evil, the good guy. I mean, this is a great guy. He's a great actor. He brought this. I could not think of anybody right now who could have ever played Loki. I'm glad he got turned down for the role of Thor. Thank you. Thank you. Season 2 was really great. I love how they wrapped it up. I mean, the god of stories made Tree, the tree of life, whatever it's called. Sorry, the one, the one Odin was talking about. How everything wraps together. I'm like, hey, it's part of his heritage, his childhood. He made the tree. I'm like, this is perfect. You got the branches continuously growing and sparkling, which means new branches, new leaves, new timelines. Hey. And the ones that got pruned are the dead roots below. You saw that. Right? That's great visualizations. I love that. This was a great series. One of the best that Marvel's actually produced. I wish the writers would get together who's overwriting the next show, like Echo, and talk to them and tell them, this is how you do a Marvel show. See, this is one show that fans are not complaining about. They're complaining 10% of the time compared to 80 to 90% of the time as the other shows. Listen to this. This is how we do a show. Okay? I just wish everybody actually will listen to these guys. These guys deserve an Emmy for this show, period. At least episode 6. Whoever wrote the episode 6 and producers and directors, this at least should get some kind of Emmy for this one. Okay? That's the People's Choice Award, but an Emmy. Now, don't kiss up to the parties. Just get it for what you are worth. That's my comment.
Okay. Very good. All right. So let's see here. 5, I will give it a C because I guess it did what it needed to do. 6, I will give it an A. I'll give it an A. This season, though, I think it's a C minus, B or C plus, B minus. Like Austin was kind of saying, it's kind of right there in the middle because I think there was parts that kind of skewed off from what it seemed it should be. There were some things that didn't really wrap back around, I think, to what I don't know. There's just some loose ends there that weren't necessary again because of the wonderful, catch-all of it's his plan, because that just basically means they could do whatever they wanted to do. But wrapped with season 1, I think season 2 carried a lot more weight. I think it did a lot more than season 1. Season 1 just kind of felt like, again, they were saying, "Oh, we had to catch all your variants," and then they got to Sylvie, and then Sylvie ended up. It didn't feel like this is where it was going. Now that you look back on everything, you're like, okay, I can see where this is going. They ended it at the end of time with He Who Remains, and then that kept on being the focal point now. So I guess now season 1 doesn't seem as necessary. A lot of it didn't seem as necessary. I'm not sure if they needed to go to each of those timelines or anything. And like they had things in it that didn't come back that you thought could come back. So, I mean, I think between the two, season 2 has a lot more weight. Season 1 is less needed now, maybe. So I'll give the 2 together maybe a B minus or a B. So that's where I'm at with that.
That makes sense.
Okay. So there it is. We've finished. What's up next? Anzo, is What If up next?
Thank you, Brother Odin. I just want to say that.
Oh, well, thank you. Of course, the white guy you call Odin. Lovely.
I mean, I can't call you Heimdall. So.
Well, what? We live in a progressive world. Why can't I be Heimdall? No.
Because we already know there's a bunch of people on this panel who can't stand race bending. You know what I mean?
I know.
Who cares? They're fictional characters.
I agree.
Man. Come on.
Okay. Anyways,
if you make a white Black Panther, I'm burning this shit up.
I mean,
All this shit's going.
we got an Asian century.
You know
coming,
what's funny
so-
is
I know.
remember there for a while in the 2000s there was that thing of them, like there was a movie called The Terminators, but it wasn't The Terminator, and they would take the basic idea and just put as little money behind it and this bad graphics and just throw out these movies, and they were throwing them out and they were making tons of money hand over fist about it just because they were putting up this. Oh, there were so many of them. That's what I almost see for Black Panther is like them coming out with that and calling it the White Black Panther. It's like
White Wolf. I'm burning this shit down. All of it.
White Wolf is his brother-in-law. Okay, come on.
Okay. Anza, what is next on the slate?
What if is next?
Okay. Yeah, I figured that was.
What if it's kind of different, right? Because what if is coming out one episode every day?
Every day.
Yeah. So
9 days in a row.
If anything, we'll probably just do the review on the whole series, I guess, or something.
Well, you probably do like the first 5, and then the next week do the last 4.
Well, we could do something like that, yeah. Because
I don't know. It's your show. It's your show. You do what you want with it.
Yeah, we'll figure something out because and none of us doing it every day. So
no,
Yeah,
for sure not.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, some people who do reviews and Easter eggs. They've been asking for screeners, and so far they've gotten no word. Like, nope, no word yet. Nope, no word. Nope. They're begging.
They're not going to give anything out. They're not going to. They'll keep their time.
They are begging.
To be honest,
I'm not getting it. I'm like, fuck it. If you're gonna give it to them, give it to me too.
To be honest, I'm actually just waiting out for Echo. I could care less for.
Oh, stop your shit! You want Echo more than What If?
I mean, What If had maybe 3 episodes out of the whole thing? Come on.
Dude, Star-Lord T'Challa is still my ish.
Oh my, that was one of the worst.
Oh, I hated that one.
That was one of the worst.
I thought that character they could have used that character too.
Killmonger was way better. Stop it. Stop. Get off.
Killmonger too.
Yes, I love Killmonger.
I like Killmonger.
I will say that once they wrapped all the episodes kind of together there at the end, I did think that the episodes
were good. So it's more than 2.
I said 3. I give it 3. The rest were garbage.
No.
Well, I won't say garbage.
I don't think any of them were garbage, man.
So the Captain Britain one was good. The Doctor Strange one was good. The Ant-Man one was good. Harrington. The 2 last ones were good. The only
Thor one was stupid.
Really bad. That was the one.
Party Thor. Yeah, no party. Yeah, Party Thor was stupid.
The
Thor one was not good.
And the Star-Lord one was stupid. I'm sorry.
I like Star-Lord. I thought that was cool because I thought how much better he is than everyone else. Better.
You know, he spoke to Thanos and made sure Thanos didn't do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that was great.
Yeah. Hey, let me tap you on the shoulder, buddy. Don't do this. That's it.
He's
Get
T'Challa.
Stop it.
He's T'Challa.
You know what I'm saying?
Stop it.
It's like saying Michael Jackson. He made Thriller.
Oh, so recast him then.
I was looking at some of the previews for the season 2.
I've been saying that shit for
the only one that looks like the comically stupid Party Thor episode would be the racing one.
Okay.
I don't know. The racing one looks like some Mario Kart shit. I was like, oh, this looks cool. I want to see that racing one.
No, I think that's going to be the comedy episode that they were talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Party Thor is the only one I didn't like. Everything else I thought was pretty cool.
The was it the Die Hard episode with Happy Hogan reference thing is supposed to be not comical.
Yeah. All right, so that's the next one, guys. Look for that. That will be soon. We will be doing the Rule of 3 not tomorrow night because I have to work tomorrow night with the Chiefs game going on. So we will be on Tuesday, if that's okay with Danny and Anzo. Is that good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Why, Chris?
I have to work.
No, why did you submit a message? Why?
Oh, just do it. You'll find out. If I ask for something, there's a reason.
Okay.
And Elon wants to know what the reason is. Like, you know what I mean? He might just do it.
Then that would that would nullify the reason. Because I can't tell him the reason for why I'm asking for what I'm asking for without nullifying the reason for wanting it.
Wait,
Just
Okay,
do
can
it.
I-
Just
there's
do
two-
it.
There's two different choices. Let me see. Okay, this choice.
Send them both. Send them both, and I'll figure it out. Okay.
Okay.
Anyways, with that said, guys, we're gonna go around one more time. Have everybody talk about themselves, their channel, and what they got going on. We'll start down there with Elihu, who is currently trying to figure out what in the world I'm up to, which is all right because you don't have to worry about it. Okay. Interesting. Walt Disney is. You're not
Oh, sorry.
looking where Walt Disney's pointing, though.
Sorry, I said the same one twice. Sorry, I'm stoned.
Yeah, you did. Okay. Anyways, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
5'9".
Your channel. Your channel.
Oh, okay. I'm Elihu Who. I am everywhere I know at the same time, like Twitter, Threads, Instagram, YouTube, and since APEC is finally gone and the barricades are gone, I can actually do some astrophotography, and the moon is about 47%, and no clouds predicted tomorrow. So expect some photography tomorrow on my Instagram and Twitter.
Woo! Excellent, great. And then next we're gonna go up to Austinator, the Austinator. What is going on with your channel?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm the Austinator. You can find me on my channel. I do a bunch of stuff on there. I typically do WCW reviews with Shifty on Thursdays, but due to the end of the semester coming up, it's been a little difficult in having real time to stream. So there might not be anything else until maybe December. I don't know what's going to go on. I'll figure out when it happens. You can find me on Wednesdays for the Hangout. I'm typically on Chaos Central for various roundtables, so check me out there. I'm basically everywhere all at once. I'm also a part of the Cool Kids Movie Reviews group. Last one I was on, we reviewed David Finch's The Killer. I'm just everywhere, man. Just check me out. Chris, thanks for having me on.
Not a problem. Great to have you here. Brian, tell everybody about yourself. What you guys got going on over there at Spoiler Kings?
All right, I'm Brian the Grizzly, one third of the Spoiler Kings. I told you Monday and Thursday nights we do all of our reviews. We're going to be talking about Invincible. I think tomorrow. Actually, I think a couple of us went and saw the Hunger Games movie, and I went and saw the Trolls movie too because I got little girls. So we were talking about all that stuff tomorrow, and then we're gonna have fun on Thursday. So this is what we do. I love comic books. I love the movement. I love all these things. So if you suggest them to me, I'll watch it and we'll review it. So I'll see you guys then.
Okay, very good.
I saw the Hunger Games, and you will like it.
Perfect.
Okay, very good. Warren.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, sorry.
No, the other Warren.
No, you should have said Urkel. If you would have said Urkel, he would have said
whatever. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter. Have some plans for some stuff next year. With League of Legends stuff. I'm gonna avoid doing any Marvel things because I don't want the pitchforks and the shovels to come after me. So I'll just
go get them.
I'll hop on streams until then. So that's where you can find me. Yep. That's it.
Okay. Very good. Anzo.
Bigger Forward Entertainment. You guys know where to find me. Monday nights doing the Chaos Central stuff. Wednesday is the OOC. And Sunday is the Roundtables. Great show, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Great to have you too, as usual. And Danny, last but not least for any means, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, your channels, what you got going on.
You can find me on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on my channel on The Road to Wisdom. I try to upload a word, a quote, and script of the day. Also, you can find me on Chaos Central on Mondays. Sunday nights, I'm on Storm's Live. I'm on Robert Storm. You can find me Wednesdays on The Hideout with Guy Scar, and sometimes I pop in on OOC with Anzo and Roberto. And thanks for the invite.
Not a problem. And I am Chris Knight. Real Review 3000 is my channel. Chaos Central, of course. We have 3 shows we do every month on the channel, roundtables, other things too. Just depends. And also over on Honstar YT for the weekly wrap up, Jackbox Games, Name That Tune. That will all be coming back fairly soon. And some other stuff too. We're going to get back into the swing of things here. Now, the computer is actually running again, so that's a great thing.
So that's why you asked me what you asked me. Gotcha.
What?
Oh, no, your computer's working again, so that's why you asked me what you asked me. Gotcha.
No, actually, that's not why, but okay. All right. Anyways, with that said, we will be back on Tuesday, like I said, for the Rule of Three, and then we'll be here soon. We'll be with the What If Roundtable, and obviously, as Anzo said, that's going to be a little different than our normal roundtable setup because of how they're releasing everything. But hey, I appreciate everybody who was watching. I appreciate everybody who was on this panel. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, everyone, for your patience with the way that my setup has been recently, and I cannot wait to at least be able to click a button and have something actually happen instantaneously again. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I forgot how fun this is. Because here I am, I'm having to reload up StreamYard on my computer just to hit the final thing again. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. Does somebody have the Jeopardy thing? Somebody?
No.
I'm kind of waiting for Yeah. It's about like that, isn't it?
Loki has green magic. And he's the
What the hell? What are you talking about? Oh my gosh.